Talking to you on the ones and twos. DJ Niecy spreading the news. Nubian Queen worldwide play that. New music, she ain't scared to break that. DJ Niecy. I like it when you play my song.
Hey, it's your girl DJ Niecy D with another episode of the Niecy D Show, coming to you live from the Blue Sky Media Group studios, baby. And our conversation today is going to be about, I don't know, can you tell? We're going to talk about that gun life. So my guest today, Mr. Tonio
Yes, ma'am.
Johnson. We call him Tony, though. We won't talk about the nicknames. We won't talk about that behind the scenes. But anyway, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm blessed to be here. I'm happy to be here. You know, finally we've been talking back and forth for about a year now.
We have.
And now we're here. I got you out for some training a couple of weeks ago, so you really got a chance to see what I do and what I offer, and here we are.
And we're going to talk about that. So we're going to have fun, but this is going to be a real serious show because this is a serious topic.
Yes.
So before we get started, and before we get really deep down into this conversation, give us a little background about how you grew up, where you grew up. And I'm asking you specifically because sometimes there's this misconception about maybe someone's background having some type of influence on their adulthood or what have you. So I want to get a good, well-rounded perspective of who you are. That's what we want to let everybody know, and then we'll take it from there. So, and I'm gonna jump in every now and then because I want to really direct this interview down a particular road. So, have at it, my friend.
Well, once again, my name's Tonio Johnson. I'm from Eatonville, Florida.
The historical
Eatonville, Florida, one of the oldest black towns in America.
Yes.
And I come from, the life where most people come from, of us, was sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's good, but you got to stay focused and stay strong and have a plan to get to where you're trying to go. Mm-hmm. As far as the guns, I've always been a gun guy. I never really carried because I'm pretty much cool with everybody. I was born and raised in Orlando, so I travel from Eatonville to Pine Hills to Paramore, whatever side of town, everybody know Tony. Mm-hmm. However, I've got robbed a few times.
Wait. We don't want to get ahead. Okay. So you're from Florida, which is rare. I'm from New York, so I'm a transplant. And to actually meet someone who's born and raised in Florida, right, and coming from the historical town of the city of Eatonville, shout out to former Mayor Bruce Mount. That was a dear friend of mine.
That's the homie.
Yeah. So salute to him. But your experience, your street experiences, far different from a New York experience, yes. Okay? Yep. So what is the difference when it comes to the experience that you had? You were robbed. So let's go there.
Well, like you said, there is a big difference from New York to Florida. First and foremost, New York, the gun laws are totally different. I mean, the guns are way more accessible here. From a teenager, 14 to 15, to a grown man, you can pretty much find a firearm anywhere. Where New York, the laws are stricter. Guns are going to be more pricier, especially in the street, as well as not everybody's going to have a gun. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Down here in Florida, everybody got a gun.
For many reasons. And it ain't just hunting.
It ain't just hunting. I mean, it's a stand your ground state, so, everybody, you can protect yourself here. So guns float around. And then, New York, as a New Yorker would say, we're more country. It's a little bit more country going on here. So I grew up a little different. Wasn't as fast as New York, but at the same time, you still had your episodes, things going on. Me personally, like I said, once somebody put a gun in your face and your life is in another man's hand, that's life-changing.
It is.
That's life-changing. That's life-changing. Just knowing that whatever this guy decides to do, it can make or break me. Mm-hmm.
So, quick question. Do you have any military background at all?
I don't. I I'm self-taught. I mean, I've took classes, but really, it's about the time I put in. Man, I put time in on the range. I mean, 10 plus years dedicated to making myself better with firearms. Initially it was about me.
Mm-hmm.
It was about me getting better with firearms. It was about me making sure that never happened to me again, to where I couldn't protect myself and I can always make it home to my family. But as the passion started to grow, and being from Eatonville, being at the barbershop, being around people, you start wanting to teach when you hear other guys talking about firearms. And I know how I was raised. I was not raised like that with firearms. My dad didn't take me hunting. My dad didn't take me to the range. And my dad was a cop. My dad was a cop. But guns, for what it does in our community, my mother didn't like guns.
So, and I don't mean to cut you off. So the experience itself was the catalyst for you to say, I need to get a firearm, learn how to use a firearm to protect myself because of that particular experience.
Yes.
Okay. So when you were growing up and your father being an officer and a weapon in the house, I'm guessing, because obviously, was there safety discussed? Were there, don't touch this? I mean, what was the conversation? Because I'm thinking in the household, guns just aren't the conversation.
You called it. There was no conversation about it. It was always hid. I never forget. We had an old Sabre that my dad ended up letting me get, and at this time, I'm 19, 20 years old. I sold the car before I even started driving it. I never drove it. I sold it. The gun was hid in the hood of that car.
Oh, no.
And when the guy came to pick the car up, he looking up under the hood, and I see a bag. I grab a bag. And it's a revolver in there, and so that's how it was in my household. My dad we didn't talk about it. My mom didn't like him because of what it did to our community, and that's where I GLT, and that's where it comes in.
So I was going to say that can really be very dangerous because yes, father knew how to handle the firearm. I'm guessing mom didn't, you didn't. So in a emergency situation, you guys would be very vulnerable.
Yep.
You would not be able to, that would mean nothing to you.
Not a thing. I'm grabbing a broomstick before I'm thinking about grabbing a gun during those days.
Right. And then the flip side of that is there are guns out there in the street, and you have young people and adults who get their hands on firearms who don't know what they're doing and causing harm to others.
Yes, ma'am.
So we hear the phrase, guns kill. Well, no, people use guns and kill.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
What's your perspective on that?
I'm big on that. A gun is a weapon of choice. I mean, just as well as somebody use a gun. Think if they learn how to use a sword. You have these shootings or things going. Think if this guy went in there with a sword and killed 20 people. That would be gruesome. America wouldn't be ready to see somebody go in with a sword and just decapitate people. So moral of the story is a gun is a weapon of choice. This gun, we can leave this gun here for 50 years. If nobody picks it up and pulls the trigger, guess what? That gun's going to sit right here and look just like it's looking now. So it's not about the gun. It's about people. And times are changing. Things are getting worse, as we can see. People are getting, doing more crazier things. So in my eyes, that we need more guns. So now everybody can protect themselves, because I can guarantee you this, if you look at stats, places where they open carry, they probably have less crime. Because if this guy got a gun on his side, and she got a gun, and he got a gun, and he got a gun, and he got a gun, what kind of crime is going to be committed?
And I was going to ask you what your thoughts were on open carry states, because I've actually heard people, say both sides. That they feel like, well, I don't want to know. I don't want people to know that I'm carrying, or if somebody knows that you're carrying, they may try you. So, I mean, you really...
Well, and that's good, because me, if an open carry state, if Florida was an open carry state, I wouldn't open carry. I like the element of surprise, but having that ability to do so, because other people are going to want to it'll balance itself out. And there may be a situation or somewhere I pull up and I say, you know what, I'm finna open carry in here. You know what I mean? Versus me just, but off rip, I wouldn't want to. I want to conceal. I want to be element of surprise.
And for those watching who don't know the difference between open carry and concealed, would you please explain what that is?
Open carry is when basically you can carry visible. You can carry like the police. You can carry on your waist. You can carry, you don't have to hide it. Or concealed, you have to hide it. Your gun should not be visible. I mean, even as far as the print, you know, if you got the gun, if you're carrying appendix carry, which is in the front, you know, you want it to be as less visible as possible.
Okay.
Where, you know, Georgia is an open carry state, you can carry right
Now
in
this
the open.
requires licensing, training. Yes.
Well, it should, but that's really some people don't. I mean, they just go right at it. But that's where, you know, you need to go get
Now
the
we
training.
get into the training and we get into the
training.
laws, because if you are a convicted felon, if you do not have the right to have a concealed weapon, we're looking at time. Yes, we're looking at breaking laws.
If you're a felon, for sure, if you're a convicted felon, you can't have firearms or ammo around you. But if you're not a felon and you don't have a permit, you can still purchase firearms. You cannot carry it on you, but you can carry it in your car. Your car is considered your dwelling, which is your home.
Okay.
So you always, Florida is one of those states where you can protect yourself. So if something were to happen without having your concealed weapons license, you need to be by your car.
Okay.
You know, you don't need to be in the store with this firearm and you didn't get permitted for it, because now you got issues. Now we
Okay,
got
so
problems.
let's create a scenario. You don't have a concealed weapons license or permit. You do have a firearm, and it's in your truck. You've got a nice, I don't know, Silverado, and you love riding around in your truck, and you go into a store and something goes on. You know you have a weapon. What do you have the right to do?
If I'm inside the store and the weapon is in the car,
Yes.
And honestly, I will always say this. I just had this conversation last weekend. Somebody was asking me, I'm not a hero. I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm trying to make it home. So if I'm inside the store and something were to happen inside if I can make it to my truck, I'll call the police for you, but I'm out of here. I'm not trying to be the hero. That's
Okay.
just, you know, that's opening up doors.
So really try to avoid putting yourself in a position where you have
Bingo.
to. Okay.
Bingo.
Sounds
That's
good.
what you want. The laws are too wavy. I mean, it goes up and down. The slightest, just because this was like this. Now you're in way more trouble than you ever thought you could be in. So don't put yourself in those situations.
Okay.
Avoid it at all costs.
Let's talk laws. Let's talk about the gun safety laws and all this stuff. So what's going on legally in the government? And we'll just talk about the state of Florida for now, because the laws do change from one state to the next. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so let's focus on Florida.
Well, Florida is actually one of the better states when it comes to the gun laws. Like I said, we have stand your ground. Not every state have that. You don't have to have your permit to get a gun. Even when it comes to getting your permit, a lot of the other states require a lot more of a class, should I say, in order to get your permit, where me as a firearms instructor, I don't have to say have a 4-day class. You go to some states, it may take a week.
Okay.
You know, I mean, New York, it might take a year for you to get your permit.
Okay.
Where Florida, I mean, some of these instructors will do a 2-hour class. Well, mine, I come in and I take pride in making sure that my students learn and understand the laws, understand how to work a firearm before they leave my class. So I have a longer class than your average instructor, but I also have my own range as well. So
And we're going to talk about that. Since you do deal with a lot of people that come to your range, we're going to talk about you having a range and really what it took for you to get in the position of instructor, okay? I don't want to pass that, because I think that's very important.
Yes, ma'am.
But from what you may have heard, what is the most misrepresented or misunderstood law that exists when it comes to guns?
I would say, well, I mean, here in Florida, we don't have those. To me, all of our gun laws are pretty much acceptable compared to other states. Now, like I said, New York, one of the laws that I always felt like was didn't make any sense was mag capacity.
Okay.
They said in New York you can only have 10 rounds.
Okay.
Like the more round.
So let's hold up a mag so people know what you're talking about. We have some show and tell here as well.
Well, here's your magazine.
Okay.
And so this mag here is a 15-round mag.
Okay.
Takes 15. You cannot carry this in New York.
Okay.
I can only carry 10 rounds.
Okay.
So you're going to limit, my rounds of me protecting myself. Well, the bad guys don't care. That's the big thing. Since we are even on the laws,
Yes.
the most laws only affect me and you, people that are doing it the right way. You can make laws for days. If the bad guy gonna do what the bad guy gonna do,
Right.
He don't care about it. If he wouldn't be the bad guy, if he cared about the law. So what are these laws? Who are they affecting? And they'll affect us. They'll say, just say if Florida did pass that, okay, well now the mag capacity is you can only do 10 rounds. The bad guys, the streets, they got
Right.
drums and 30 rounds, magazines. So it's only affecting me.
So you have less of an opportunity to, I guess, diffuse that threat or get that person to run or duck or something.
Well,
you only get
were
5
multiple
chances or 10 chances.
Yeah, I only get there's 3 people. I got
That's
3
craziness.
people. I got 3 people come in the rock.
Right, right.
When it happened to me, it was 2 people.
Right.
So I got 2 to 3 people, and I only got 10 rounds, and they both got 30 rounds apiece. They got
Right.
60 rounds, and I got 10. Hopefully I'm doing some training.
And that's how the laws are working, which means they're not working.
They're not working at all.
And so what is this concern about Biden making some changes to gun laws? Or let's talk about that.
I'm not a fan of Biden. I'm not a political person either way. I like to be on the outside looking in. I'm always say when it comes to the politics, you do what's best for you. Because how you live and how I'm living may be totally different. Or versus it be a trend thing, or this is what we're supposed to
The flavor
vote
of the
for.
month. Or
Exactly.
This is the...
Biden, they never liked the guns in the first place. Their goal to me is to disarm me and you. Because any of the laws, like I said, that they're doing or they're trying to change, they want to say an assault weapons bans, which these are not assault weapons, but that's what they want to say.
We're going to open this up shortly, too.
Who is that going to affect? That's going to affect me. I can't go purchase this.
Right.
The bad guy already got his.
Right,
I'm
right.
saying, or he's going to go, he can get his illegally.
And this is a question. I mean, I talk to people, and they're always wondering, well, how are these guns, how are these loads and loads and loads of guns getting into particular communities? And I've heard certain stories where there's just been literally truckloads of weapons just kind of popping up in trailers in certain communities.
I have heard
and we're
that.
thinking, okay, well,
I have heard that before.
how is this happening?
I've heard that. I'm not 100% sure. I have not got any evidence, but I have heard that. A lot of these guns, though, break-ins. You have some of the gun stores where they will have stashed their guns, a warehouse, get broken into. Now you got 500 guns in the street. Say this happened once every 3-4 years. You just got all
So
these guns
are
on
the
street.
guns marked? I mean, they mark money. They mark everything. Cell phones, laptops. Are these things not marked?
They are
not
marked.
traceable.
They aren't.
So
They're as traceable as a marked dollar bill. You know what I mean? So they're if you got them, the numbers on them, you just hide it. If you get caught with it, you get caught with it. But there's nothing we can do about that.
let's talk about how you became an instructor. We know what the catalyst was that took you down the road and all, but I mean, what all did you have to do? How extensive was it? Did you face some challenges because you are a African American male? What other challenges do you face when you are amongst other instructors who are of a different persuasion? Because this is a reality. So share that, please.
Certification, it was okay. It wasn't as hard as I would have expected it to be, but still, I had to do some shooting. I had to, read, get my information up, learn more about the laws, learn more about what I'm going to be teaching. It was a 3-day class. Then it came down to my shooting skills.
Okay.
So I had to, from 45 feet, I had to 2 magazines. You get 8 rounds. You get 10 rounds. You get 10 rounds, 2 magazines. You can only miss 2 out of both magazines. But I had to hit all of my 8 shots within a dollar bill.
Okay. So
from
now
45 feet.
we have something that gives an example of what a person would see or focus on or practice with.
So we actually used paper plate. It was a paper plate about this big. So I had to have 8 shots within this circle.
Okay.
And then with 1 mag. Then the next, basically 16 shots Within he would take out a dollar bill.
Oh, dollar bill,
Yeah,
yeah.
take out a dollar bill. When I got done, he put it in there, and all my shots had to be within
the length
bill,
of the bill. Okay.
At 45 feet.
At 45 feet. Okay.
So that was different, but nevertheless, I got it done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the funny thing about it is when I took this class, it was all, you know, I'm in there. Of course, I'm the only brother in there, and you got ex-Leo, ex-military. You know, I'm listening to these guys. I'm sitting by myself. Nobody talking to me. It's all right. They got all these stories. Oh man, yeah, I just got back from Iraq, and I carried a guy, you know, 200 yards, and they got all this top equipment. Everybody had Pelican cases, you know, all this equipment. It was me and this old guy. Old guy had a revolver and a chick. We was the only three past the class.
We're going to talk about girls and guns.
Yeah, girls are the best. But we were the only three past the class. And it was so funny because these guys, the whole class, they were talking. And you swear they was just, you know, super military, man. They done all this and that. But when it came down to getting those shots in that paper, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. The guy got so frustrated. The teacher told him, hey, I'll let you come back tomorrow and take it again. Just go home now and go train, you know, go to your local range and go train and come back tomorrow and try it. No.
The ego wouldn't allow
the ego
it.
wouldn't allow it. I stay in Tampa. I drove down here. I'm finna do this now, right now, and get it over with. The dude missed all shots. I mean, he didn't even say bye. He picked up his case and he left, and I was like, oh, well, you know, all that bragging y'all sitting over here doing, nobody couldn't shoot. But like, nevertheless, me, the old guy, and the chick, we got it done.
Okay.
And here I am today.
All right. So, how proud are you of your accomplishment? I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I honestly, I'm so passionate about what I do that I don't even get a chance to be proud of myself. I'm just trying to keep it moving.
Yes.
I got a goal though,
Okay.
and I do see myself knocking out goals. So I look back and say, okay, that's done, and I'm going to quote what Nipsey Hussle said. When you start accomplishing your goals and you can set new ones, that's a good feeling.
Yes.
So that's when I realized, well, man, I did do that. Well, man, I did buy a piece of property. Well, man, I did buy a house or whatever, you know.
Right.
So now you're setting new goals.
All right.
So then you can look back and appreciate where you came from and then strive even more to get to where you're going.
All right. Now let's talk firearms specifically. How do you properly manage a firearm? I know we watch movies all the time, and we see the cowboys and Indians doing what they do, and we see all these war movies, and there's a lot that is incorrect in the actual handling of a firearm.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
let's kind of go over that real quick.
First and foremost,
We have some toys.
yeah, she brought. I'm proud of Niecy.
Shh.
They got us some toys.
They don't need to know none of that.
All right, well, I'm still proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Because quality is good. But in the firearms, first and foremost, train. Find you a legitimate instructor in your area. Find somebody that can show you how to properly use your firearm. They always like a clean gun is a good gun.
Pass this over.
And quality. Quality. You want to buy quality when you start purchasing these firearms. This is
A Taurus.
Taurus.
Which is not one of our favorites at all.
This is not what we want to buy. See, when
This
you go,
is not what you.
this is not what you want.
This ain't what you want.
When you go in
This
these
ain't
gun
what you
stores,
want on two different levels.
you want to buy quality.
Yes.
$200, $300 guns are exactly what they are. It's $200, $300 gun. I always feel like you need to spend $500. If you spend $500 bet on your gun, obviously there's a reason why it's that much. And that's going to be quality. Quality comes down to the trigger. Quality comes down to the weight. Quality comes down to the slide. Quality comes down to the manufacturer. So when you start buying and purchasing these guns, you know, do your research. We got the internet nowadays. You can find out anything you want to find out by asking your phone. You can ask Siri. But quality. Buy your good guns. Guns are an investment. Guns never lose value. Depending on what's going on, if you spent $600 on your gun, you're going to at least get $600 back. You may be able to get $1,200 because you know they may ban and say you can't get this TARS no more. But you're the only one with the TARS. So now you made some money off the gun. So it's an investment.
It's like an Air Max. Just ain't the quality of an Air Max.
Yeah, it's not the quality of an Air Max. But I mean, it is what it is. Now, if I only had $200,
Yeah.
then
And
do
you
what
need
gotta do.
something.
You need something. Do what you gotta do. I'll never.
But if you're
never
able
say
to
no.
upgrade at any time, your finances improve and you can upgrade.
Do that.
Definitely upgrade.
Definitely upgrade.
Okay.
And you can tell the difference. I mean, when I started, I was $200 man. I had $200 gun guy. I had
Okay.
20 $200 guns. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing. I go to the range. I lay them all out on the ground. Stand back, look at them. Like, yeah, man, look at all of them, man. Boy, I got some heat. Then I started being around people that had quality.
Because what's the difference when you speak of quality after the artificial look and so forth? We're talking functionality. So what's the difference in the quality and the functionality? Because what's happening when you go to use it? What can happen when you have? I don't want to say a cheap gun, but an inexpensive gun that may not be a quality firearm.
I mean, first and foremost, I mean, the trigger is very important. This trigger is going to determine whether you hit something or not. You know, so you get the cheaper guns, you'll have a 12-pound trigger pull versus a 3.5 trigger pull. So by the time the gun's going to snap, you pulling on the trigger so hard, the gun's twerking. You're not hitting nothing.
So you want to twerk, girls, not the gun. Just note to self. Just
Hey, sounds about right.
okay. So okay,
But,
now let's open this up because aren't there issues of jamming? And then I also want to talk to you about reloads. Some people do their own reloads,
Yes,
so let's
ma'am.
talk about that as well. And you know, we could talk about guns forever. So I know we're going to start wrapping this up, but let's talk. Let's unload this baby here. You
Okay.
can pass this over, or if you want to share with. That's okay. Those are empty, and for that reason.
Well, this is the Strabog.
Tucked in there real nice.
This is a Grand Power made in Slovakia. This is a Strabog. This is a 9mm carbine.
And we're trying to show you this and still be safe because
Yes.
anytime you are
You
handling
always
a
be safe with
firearm, you do not ever want to point it. Listen, kids. Listen, my warriors out there, you know, all my goons, all my street people, check this out. Don't point guns at each other. Don't do that. Don't even play like that. I need you guys to really understand that this is serious. These are not toys. I don't care if it's a BB gun or a play gun. Don't point it at anybody, okay? Please. Okay, let's go.
I agree with you. I don't want no gun pointed at me.
Okay.
Yep, this is a Strabog SP9A1, and this is what I mean when I'm saying quality. You know, you want to invest in guns that you can always get your money back, and guns that are used. Like the Slovakian military used it, so if the military can use it, I can use it. I know
Okay.
that it's gonna
I
work.
heard that.
It's gonna work. So this was a great purchase. It came with the upgraded flatty trigger. I mean, you got the folder stock, and this is something I would throw in my book bag. Me and my family going out of town. We finna go on vacation. We finna go to Tennessee, and, you know, Airbnb. Load up my mags, throw this in my book bag, and guess what? We gonna make it home.
We ready. We ready.
We gonna get back to the house, and so, you know, this is something you want. This was a good purchase.
Okay, so is it a red dot and a white dot? What's the difference with the dots? Let's talk dots.
Well, the dots. Grab this out of here.
All right. Woohoo.
I can get it out.
You know, she's sensitive.
It's a little sensitive.
Yeah, she's a little sensitive.
So your dot is you would apply your dot on here.
Okay.
You have red dot. You have a holographic sight. So you kind of figure out.
Holographic, not hologram. I don't know. I just love this part. You know what? Like, artists dancing that. Okay, anyway, go ahead. Y'all know I'm silly.
So you find out what works for you. Your eyes. You know, some people have different astigmatism in their eyes than other people. So some people may need a holographic sight where it's a window versus a red dot is a cylinder. So, but moral of the story is you apply that onto your rifle. In this case, people are putting dots on their pistols as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to make you it's like a cheat button.
Okay.
It's like a cheat button. Playing a video.
Okay.
But
sometimes you might need that cheat button.
Sometimes you may need that cheat button.
Easy
definitely.
access, baby.
There you go.
All right, awesome. Okay, so so one last time, how can people reach you? It's very important that they get the right training. So have at it.
Well,
Gun Addict.
Gun Life Tactical. That's me. You can reach me at Facebook on Gun Life Tactical. You can hit me on Instagram at Gun Addict. Once again, like I said, the website's under construction right now. Everything's taking off real fast. I can't keep up with myself, so I'm trying to keep up with this. But give me about a month and a half, and I'll have the website. That's going to be gunlifetactical.com.
Okay.
That will be ready. But as of right now, reach out to my Instagram at Gun Addict or on Facebook at Gun Life Tactical. Shoot me a DM. You can also holler at Miss Niecy. She know how to get in contact with me. If you need range time, you want to learn how to use your firearm, or even if you need to get your concealed weapons permit, I'm your guy. Anything gun-related, ammo, firearms. I got my buddy Z Enterprise. He makes the best ARs in the country.
Okay.
If you ask me, you
Okay.
got match grade everything in there. I can get you what you need. I'm your gun plug.
Shout out for the plug.
Yes, sir. That's what I do.
All right. So we're gonna have some fun at the range. And one quick question before we go. I understand you feel females are pretty good with the firearms, huh?
Man, if I had to pick 20 guys and 20 females that's green to the guns, never shot, give me 20 females. Give me
Okay.
20 females. The females run circles around the men, and that's my experience. I can't speak for any other instructor, but I know when they come to Gun Life Tactical facilities, females run circles around the men because they listen.
Okay. Who run the world? Girls. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. This has been another episode of the Niecy D Show, and we are broadcasting from Blue Sky Media Group Studios, baby. I will see you again soon. Thank you so much, Tony, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Be safe.
Yes.
Keep your gun clean.
Yep.